Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial we're going to learn how to make a structured sleeve using plastic boning. Guys, I know structured sleeves are everywhere, so I have a first tutorial on the channel on how to make a structured sleeve using Regilene boning. I have another one on how to make a structured sleeve using crinoline, and in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make a structured sleeve using your plastic boning. And the boning I have is the one of ½ inch. Okay, the width of my boning is ½ inch. All right, so that's the boning we'll be using for this tutorial, and trust me, this is I think the easiest amongst the two methods. You might agree or disagree with me. So I have here my fashion fabric and I've interfaced it using my gum stay. Okay, so I have the fabric and the mid lining. So it's advisable that you use the same fabric as the lining. Now the length of my fabric is 35 inches, and you need to get this measurement by measuring the distance from your mid front to the mid back, or where you want to attach the structural sleeve to. Okay, so you're going to take that measurement and add between 8 to 10 inches to it. Now the width of my fabric is 8 inches. Okay, I want it to be 7 inches, but I have 1 inch allowance, that is ½ inch on both sides. Okay, I also have my collar stay, or you can use your peplum stay or any strong stay that you have. The width is the same as that of the fabric, but the length differs, right? So I want the length to be at least 2.5 inches shorter than the main fabric, and this is because when I want to attach this structural sleeve at the end of the day, you need to gather or pleat the edges, okay, so that the strong stay is not going to interfere with me doing that. Okay, so even the plastic boning I'll be using will be the same length as the collar stay, right? So I've measured the length of my collar stay, so I'm going to measure out the same thing on my boning. I've explained the reason why, because I want to have the edges as soft as possible so that I can do my manipulations, pleat on it, and use my lacing or my trimmings to beautify that point, right? So I want it to be as soft as possible, because by the time you use your peplum stay and your boning at that point, it's going to be difficult for you to maneuver through it, right? So I've cut out one, I'm going to cut out another one, so I just need 2 pieces of boning for this project. Right, so I'll go ahead and cut out for the second one. Remember, we have the same length as the collar stay. Now the two bonings must be the same length, right? So afterwards, you're going to nip the sides of your plastic boning on both ends, okay, and this is to make sure that it's not sharp. So when you're done nipping the sides, you're going to go ahead and scratch it on the wall or somewhere, a surface, not a table, okay, on the wall, just to dull the edges, okay, so that it doesn't poke the person wearing the dress, right? So we're going to do the same thing to the other side of the plastic boning, okay. Make sure you do it to the other side. So I'm going to take away the main fabric, so we'll concentrate on the lining fabric. So either one of them serves as the main fabric, it's the same fabric. So you're going to place the collar stay on the wrong side of the fabric. So you go flip the fabric to the wrong side, then place the collar stay on top of it, making sure to place it in such a way that you have 2 inches or 2.5 or even 1.5, depending on what you want, okay, on both sides of the fabric, right? So you're going to get your pins and pin this down. Right, so after that, I'm going to mark out ½ inch on the side of my fabric, okay. So just use your chalk and mark out ½ inch. Remember that we have seam allowance of ½ inch on both sides, so if you couple both of them together, that's 1 inch. So we are going to go ahead and mark out the same allowance of ½ inch, right? Remember, the width of my fabric is 8 inches, but I told you originally I want it to be 7 inches. So by the time I take in, so when I'm done taking in, I'll have my 7 inches back. So on the other side, I'm going to take my ½ inch allowance all the way. So you can see, just mark out ½ inch all through. Right, so the next thing I'll do would be to mark out my boning channel. So I'm marking out ½ inch for my boning channel. So I'm going to do it on the two sides. After my seam allowance of half inch, I'm going to mark another half inch for my boning channel. So you can see I'm just going to go ahead and mark half inch, and I'll mark it on the two sides. Okay, this is going to serve as the boning channel where the boning is going to go into. And I know you're asking this question, are you not going to iron the collar stitch to the fabric? And the answer is no. Please do not iron your collar stitch to the fabric. You're going to see why. It is because we're going to pass the boning into the paper stitch, so you don't need to iron it. If you iron it, it's going to stick to the fabric and you will not have a place to pass the boning through. Okay, so I'm going to be using the the collar stitch as my boning channel, so that's where the boning is going to pass through. Remember, it's going to pass through. So please do not iron your collar stitch to the main fabric. So we'll go to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew across the four lines. So okay, it's two lines now, two lines on the left, two lines on the right, so that's four lines. I'm just going to sew a straight line. Just maintain the lines that you've made with your chalk. So go ahead and sew along. So if you're new here on this channel, this is Learn to Sew with Nani, and here we upload sewing tutorials every week. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always being here. So I'm done sewing this, and you can see my sewing lines. I had to use a contrasting thread so that you can see exactly what we're doing. But when you're doing yours, please make sure to use a matching thread. Now I'm going to go ahead and start sewing on the other side. So remember, sew exactly on the lines that you've marked. So I'm going to just go ahead and sew exactly on the lines that I have made. So afterwards, you go ahead and trim off your excess thread, stick at your pins, and you're going to turn it to the right side. Okay, so you've seen what we've done. Now the next thing you will do is to go ahead and trim out any excesses that you may have. I've done that. Trim out the excesses you may have on the sides. They are going to get the main fabric, and you're going to place it right sides facing right sides. Okay, so match them up. You can see. So what you do is to go ahead and flip it to the side that you've marked so that you can see the markings that you have. Now it's time to sew the fabric and the lining together. So you're going to follow the first line, the line by the edge. Okay, you're going to follow this first line to stitch the fabric to the lining together. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and still follow that exact mark that you made previously. Just sew from there till the end. Okay, so when you're done, you cut out your thread and then you flip it to the other side and still sew with half inch seam allowance. I'm going to move to the extreme, okay, to the other side. You can see, just flip it, then follow the marking you have made, still sew with half inch seam allowance. Okay, just follow exactly the markings you made or the first stitch that you made. Okay, just sew from beginning till the end of the fabric. Okay, you just attached the lining and the fabric together. That's what we've just done. So you're going to sew from the beginning till the end. Right, so afterwards you're going to go ahead and trim out the sides, reduce the seam allowance to at least 1/4 inch so that by the time you turn over, you're not going to have bulky seams. You get? So you're just going to go ahead and trim off the edges, so gently, so that you don't cut through your seam allowance, but very close enough to the seam allowance. Okay, so just go ahead and trim. You can see, so at this point I'm taking it gently, one step at a time. Okay, trim till you get to very close to your seam allowance. Right, so when you're done, you're going to flip it to the other side and trim off as well. Okay, just flip to the other side and trim off the excesses as well. So when you're done, you're going to go ahead and pull everything inside out. Okay, so turn everything inside out. So gently push your hand into it, then take a pinch, then start dragging it out. Okay, so that's how you pull everything inside out. So you can see I'm doing that. I'm bringing it out gently like so. Okay, remember there is a collar stay inside, so it's going to be difficult to pull out, but it's nothing so serious that you cannot do. So just be pulling it gently. Okay, one step at a time, just be pulling it out gently, and shortly you're going to have it all out. Right, so after pulling it out, you're going to have something like this. Trust me, this is beautiful already. So you can go ahead and give it a good press. But before I press, I like to put in my boning first. So I've gotten the boning. Remember, I've already cut out the boning. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and pull up the fabric, okay, and insert the boning into the casing that you've made. Remember, we made a casing for the boning from the collar stay. Okay, so you're just going to push it like so. Then you will now see the half-inch spacing, okay, from the collar stay. Then you go ahead and push it inside. You can see, so it's really very easy. You can just be pushing it inside like so. That's just all. Okay, so when you push it inside, you're just going to make sure that your boning stops at where the collar stay is. Like you have 2 inches before the both edges of the fabric. That way you don't have your boning interfering when you are pleating. The same thing for the other side. Just pull it up, then you see the collar stay and you see the spacing there. Okay, so just put in the boning into the channel. Right, so that's just it. That's basically it. Very easy. You can see, just pushing the boning inside like so. Can you see? So just keep pushing in the boning. Just make sure that you have your 2 inches before, and just 2 inches before the both edges of the fabric. Okay, so that's basically how to attach. Now you can go ahead and give it a very good press. Okay, give it a good press. Use your pressing iron. You can sprinkle water to, or use a steam iron to press it. Okay, I haven't pressed, but this is what it looks like. So you can see your structure sleeve. I believe this is the easiest amongst all the other tutorials. Okay, just make your boning casing and you just have it. So you can see how beautiful that came out to be. Now you can style it the way you prefer. Okay, just style it anyhow you want. So in my previous tutorial, I showed us how you can use your needle and thread to gather it or pleat it the way you like. So just style it the way you prefer or the way your client prefers. Just go ahead and pleat the edges. You will not have the peplum stay or your plastic boning getting in the way of your pleating. So you can go ahead and pleat it very well. So this is how it looks like. Once you attach it, you go ahead and hand tack it to your fabric. Then afterwards, use your accessories to cover up your stitching. So till I come your way next time.